Aristocracy, I think it's fair to say, on the programme this morning. Ruth
Absolutely.
Jones is with us now. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
That's Ian Rankin there.
I know. I thought that. I thought, oh, I'm going to sit where Sir Ian Rankin sits. Yes.
He knows
absolutely.
how to tell a tale.
Yeah, I've got his latest, actually, a proof copy. So I've started reading that. He's amazing, isn't he?
Yes. And you have your own new book out.
I do, funnily enough.
Yes. Number 3.
Yes, this is my third novel. It's called Love Untold.
Set the scene for us. Where are we? What's happening?
Oh, guess what? It's set in Wales.
Is it now?
Yes, and it's a family drama. It's about 4 women from the same family, 4 generations. The eldest is 90, Grace. Then we have Alice, who's 73. We have Ellen, her daughter, who's in her early 50s. And then we have, at the end of the chain, Becca, who's 16. And it's really about mother and daughter relationships. But 30 years ago, Alice, the 70-something-year-old, was a terribly badly behaved person, and she abandoned the family. Nobody's seen her since. And now that Grace is approaching 90, she wants to track her down and make peace with her. But if she does that, Ellen, her granddaughter, and Alice's daughter, is not going to be happy because she has deleted her from her life.
I feel like we need one of those police things with points.
Yes.
Yeah, that links that and all that.
Yes. So it's about forgiveness. It's about tensions within families, and it's funny, dare I say it, but it's funny in parts and moving in parts. It's had a really great response, and it's gone into the top 10 Sunday Times bestsellers this week, straight in at number 9.
So, all that work you're doing on this book tour, you were telling me all the dates and everything you're travelling around, is worth it?
Yes, exactly. I am doing this lovely book tour, and it's great to meet people. We've been all over the place. Oswestry, we were in Chester last night, we're in Liverpool tonight, Manchester tomorrow, Birmingham, Ilkley. It's great because we're meeting people after having the time of everything being on screen and getting to meet people in the flesh.
How do your book fans differ from your TV fans? Because there won't always be crossover.
No, but I think most people, like when I do Q&As in the book events, a lot of people ask, obviously, about... Stella gets asked about a lot, actually. People are asking, oh, when's it coming back? When's it coming back? Gavin Stacey was this little series that I did. That gets asked about a lot as well. But I think people seem to straddle... Can I say straddle on BBC Breakfast? They straddle the two. And
you know, by asking, you've just made it rude.
Oh, have I?
Yeah. If you just left it...
It's a really great word, though. The English language
word.
has got such gorgeous, gorgeous words. I think that's why I really enjoy writing. I always try and get the word behemoth in somewhere. You'll always find a behemoth and an alcoholic in my novels.
Behemoth is one of those words I never quite know how to pronounce.
I'm the same.
I'd have said behemoth.
Say behemoth?
Yeah.
Behemoth?
Yeah, I wouldn't have said behemoth.
I wouldn't have said behemoth.
Well, that's the Welsh in me, you see.
Do you think? Do you think
Yeah,
that's
because everything's phonetic. The Welsh language is phonetic. So what you see is what you read. So maybe that's why I say behemoth.
It's also one of those words, it's quite challenging to know quite exactly what it means.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like a big thing.
Big.
And
isn't it?
Big.
Is it a noun? Is it an adjective?
Yeah.
It's a word of mystery.
Sir Ian Rankin was saying, I can't help but call him Sir Ian Rankin. He didn't quite like it because he's not used to it yet, but I like it. He was saying that he gets inspiration from all around. So often in Edinburgh, he'll go into a cafe, you know, where he's at home, and he had inspiration from someone wearing a lanyard identifying that they have COPD, so they didn't have to wear a mask. And so Rebus has COPD.
Right.
Where are your kind of nuggets? Where do you go out looking for inspiration or do you just think, okay, this has just come to me and that's how the book comes about?
Yeah, no, I don't go out looking for it, but I do. If I encounter somebody, like say a really grumpy receptionist, for example, they're always classic when they don't have eye contact and they just sort of talk to you like this, and I just think, oh, that's great. Or if you have an interview, I had an interview this week with somebody who shall remain nameless, who was really kind of quite arch, and I thought, oh yes, that's going in the next book. Somehow I will get that in. So I do kind of make a note of people that I meet and just little things sometimes. Like I had a pedicure, and the young lady that was doing... Am I allowed to say young lady now?
Yes.
She was very, very... she just laughed at everything. Like not like in response to like a funny little anecdote, but yeah, and it was like a nervous laugh.
Did she laugh at your feet?
Well, maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was just hysterical, laughing at my feet and covering it up.
Maybe she was nervous that she couldn't fix your feet.
Yeah, that's true. My feet are okay. They're lovely.
You've introduced another word now, which I haven't heard for a little while, is arch. Because I'm not even sure I know really what arch. You said the interview was quite arch.
Arch, yes, sort of like. She said she didn't want. We were talking about promoting the book, and she said, and she wanted to talk about other stuff. And she said, because we're not a shop. This is not a shop. And I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted to ask for £half a pound of toffees instead. I think arch is that sort of slightly school marmy.
So raised eyebrow kind of thing,
Arch.
yeah, and kind of a bit cold and frosty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cold and frosty is
direct
really good.
and to the point, like there's very little warmth.
That was a very good raised eyebrow. You did just
I can only do that one.
You can't do
When
the
I did the Hattie Jakes film, she used to raise an eyebrow, and that was quite a handy thing. I could do that, but I can't. If I try and do the right, no, it doesn't work. It's the same with doing a snarl. I can do that side, but I can't do that side. This is a very intelligent interview, isn't it?
Do you know, I'm quite enjoying it. Just feel free. What it can be on camera too, I think. Do you want to just do some time? If we call out emotions, can you just do the faces? How does that work?
Not anymore. I haven't done any acting for so long now. It's
Are you
all
going to do
rusty.
anymore?
Well, there you go. When are you going to act again?
Don't know. No plans.
Why not?
Well, I got another book to write.
Yeah, but you're good at acting too.
Oh, thanks.
It's all right.
Well, we'll see. I think as I'm getting older, I'm 56 now, and I think I'm not very good at multitasking anymore.
Can I say something to you? Right? You know, you just said I'm 56 now. There were gasps in our gallery. I won't even tell you the language that was used, but there were gasps. Really? She looks great.
She is 56. She turned 56 a couple of weeks ago. And I do find as I get older, I mean, I remember when we were filming Stella, we would film for 4 weeks and I'd have a week off and I'd film a chat show in that week off. And it makes me go cold thinking about that. So I have to take things a little more slowly now and just do one thing at a time. So I'm going to focus on the next novel, which I am committed to write.
Give us a picture of you working at your novels. Do you sit in a certain place? Where are you when you're writing?
No, I'm a bit one-size-fits-all, so I can go anywhere. And I'm quite good at... I can write, like, with lots of people around me. If I've got my laptop, I don't need absolute silence.
So in a cafe? You'd be in a cafe
I could be in a cafe, but I tend to write at home. I like to write in the kitchen because I'm within reach of the coffee. Yeah, I'm not a very organised or disciplined writer. If I've got a deadline, I will write, like, all hours to get it done. I think that's a bit of the kind of head girl in me, that I will meet the deadline. But I'm not very good at having a structured day. You know, I don't go, oh, I'm going to write from 9 till 3 and then have a break and all that stuff. But maybe I should. Might be beneficial.
How good are you with your writing being edited?
Oh, I'm fine because I have a default position of thinking I'm always in the wrong. So I always think other people are right. And sometimes I go, oh, really? Should I have thought that? I don't know. But no, I like being edited. I like people offering up information and suggestions. I've got a great editor, Frankie Gray at Transworld. She's brilliant. And my agent is really good at suggesting things. So, yeah, it's good.
So I was just going to ask, when you're on your book tour, you say you're open to suggestions and everyone else is always right. If someone in the audience, does this happen? They say, now, you know that scene where, shouldn't she have said... Does that happen? Do people advise you on how it should have gone?
They haven't yet. I had somebody say, oh, I couldn't believe the ending, because the ending of this book is very, even though I say so myself,
Careful now.
It is quite moving. Okay. It's very moving, and people have commented on it. But some people don't, you know, the reaction to things I find interesting. So they'll react to the ending, they'll go whether they found it, you know, too much, or it was too upsetting, or it was fantastic, or whatever. And then same with characters. Some people love Grace, the 90-year-old. Some people really love Alice because she's kind of this bad girl turned good. And I love that. I love to be able to create characters that everybody can have a different opinion on.
Have you ever been part of a book club?
I'm not a committed member, a sort of visiting member. And during COVID, I did visit a couple of people's online book clubs. My friend Nicola had one, and I popped in there to talk about us three then, actually. I mention a book club in this novel because Ellen, she's very different from her mum Alice. She's very straight-laced. She's very much a control freak. She goes to a book club and she gets really cross because the ladies in the group instantly want to talk about casting it for an on-screen version. And she's like, why can't we just talk about the book? And she's very sort of strict about things like that.
Do you think that in your head, though, about your own books?
It's a question I do get asked a lot at book events, is, you know, who do you think would play the characters, or is it going to be turned into a screen adaptation? My feeling is it would be lovely, and there has been quite a lot of interest for Love Untold to be turned into a screen version. But I also partly feel like, oh, can we let the book just live as a book for a bit? I was talking to Graham Norton about that the other day and just saying, you know, sometimes it would just be nice for people to imagine those characters, because my idea of what Grace looks like is not going to be like anybody else's. And once you've turned that character into a real person on screen, you can't ever imagine them as anything else.
Very true. Very true. Wise words. What a good note to finish on.
I am a very wise person, apparently.
Well said. Well done. Ruth, it's lovely talking to you. Ruth's latest book, Love Untold, is, of course, out now.